one if you're real quick. Real quick.
It's me. That's Alex. Alex knows. Alex works at Jose Peppers. I love my chimichanga. Amy, when you get up, you have to tell us what you thought about your chimi. Okay. Chili! Chili! I like that.
All right, once you grab your second one, go take a seat. All right, once you grab your second one, take a seat, take a seat. All right.
Chimichangas! We are ready to roll!
All right, everybody. Brandon, if we can turn down that music, I don't know where you went. We can turn that down. Everybody, we're about to have an amazing night filled with more food and some amazing speakers. And so we have one rule here at XSM. So that you pay attention, and that when we introduce our speakers, you make them feel welcome. All right? Okay. So without further ado, we're going to get a warm XSM welcome for our missionary to Mexico, Bill Roop. Come on, give him some noise.
All right. Well, thanks so much for inviting me. 1977. I was 23 years old. I was married. I'd been married for several years. I was in church. There was a message about going to the nations. And my wife and I knew that that's what we were supposed to do. We went home. We sat on the couch. We looked at each other. Debbie said to me, "What do you think?" And I said to her, "What do you think?" And she said, "I asked first." I said, "I think we're supposed to go." She said, "I think we're supposed to go too." And I didn't really understand, there's a beginning of a whole adventure in our lives. And we heard about calling to the mission field. And really, I think, to put it simply, a calling is when you know that there's something that you just have to do. And so we immediately put action to what we believe that God was speaking to us. And really, it's quite an experience, particularly with a call to the mission field, to go to a different country, is really something that really comes heavy upon your heart. And we work with missionary candidates from Mexico, and they experience the same kind of things that we do. And I believe that one of the reasons that there's a something that strong that comes up your heart that motivates you, because there's really a lot of great challenges that you have to go through in order to be able to accomplish this goal. And really, when you say, "Okay, Lord, send me to the mission field," you don't really understand what's coming up, what you have to do, and what it takes to get there. And one of the big things is language. Okay, Debbie and I, we didn't speak Spanish. In Mexico, they speak Spanish. I took some Spanish in high school. Any of you guys took Spanish in high school? Woo! The Spanish section. Okay. I took a couple of years of Spanish, but you know what? I really didn't know very much. Okay. It really didn't take me very far. And so how do you do that? How do you learn another language? How do you go to a place where they don't speak English and you're able to communicate with the people? And that was a big challenge. It took several years to come to the place where you could go and you could talk to somebody and make them understand. There's another situation is that there's culture. That people are very different than they are here. And so when you go and you live there, you find that the people are not like they are here in Kansas City. They're different. And there's lots of ways that they're different. One is that they have a different way of thinking. Things that are important to them are different than what's important to us. And their attitudes about their family and how they relate to their family. And even the size of the family. When we first went to Mexico, a family with 10 kids was just kind of like normal. And, there's things like that. They're just very much different. Their values were different. What is important and what is not important to them. And so it's a whole thing you have to discover to be able to relate to them. And their religion was very different. Mexico is a Catholic country, okay? And people have an attitude about Catholicism. So we went into people's homes. Everyone would have an altar on their wall that had pictures and candles and flowers and all kinds of things. And I lived in, I knew that people prayed to the saints. And I was in Mexico for several years before I realized they are praying to those things that are on the wall. And I was, wow, they're really praying to that, okay? And so when you share the gospel with someone, the way they understand about it is very different than what we would, people from here would understand about them. And then there's all kinds of living situations that are very different. Just about going shopping, okay? We moved to a small town, and, there wasn't any, I say the best store to go shopping was called La Chiquita. You know what that means? There's a little store to go in there, and you say, I want a can of that, and give me that, and give me that. And that's the way we did our shopping. We'd go to a butcher shop, and we had to know how to, I want some meat or some ground beef or something like that, and you had to do all that in Spanish. And shopping, driving was different. So there's all kinds of things were different. And then there's another big issue when you are called a missionary. One is money. How are you going to, support yourself and your family? And, how are you going to do all that? You don't think about, I'm going to call it the mission field. That's a huge issue. Okay? And then you have to figure all that kind of out. Then, after that, okay, when you get there, what are you going to do? And how are you going to do it? And that's another big issue, okay? And so anyway, we found that a calling of God to go to the mission field is something that God really puts on your heart. And it's really very strong, and it's a fire that's kind of burns in your soul. But, it's necessary because there's all kinds of things that God has to take us through in order to be able to accomplish it. One of the great tasks of a missionary is to learn to live in a different place that really isn't your own. And isn't your own. They're really not your people. It's not really your family. But you learn to live there. You learn to enjoy being there. You learn how to communicate the gospel in a way that people can understand it. Because, they have a different way of thinking. So you have to learn how to do that. And then you learn how to love the people and how to make it your home. When I was in Mexico for several years, and I was reading my Bible, and the Lord showed me a scripture in Jeremiah 42, verse 10. And it didn't have anything to do with the missions, really. But the first part of the verse is, if you would remain in the land, He would establish it. And I read that, and I thought, okay, I'll stay. And I thought, when I first went, I thought, I'll be here for a while, and I'll move on, I'll do something else. I didn't really even think about it too much. But when I saw that verse, it was God saying to me, stay. And so we stayed, okay? And we have lived in the same town in Mexico over 40 years, okay? And people, they look at me, as I don't look like the people from there, and they say, where are you from? And how long have you lived here? I say, well, I've lived here for they're just kind of amazed, And we went as church planners, and we went as many communities that had no church in them or no believers. And we would go to these communities and start churches in people's homes. And today there's 3 churches that are established with their pastors and everything that we started back in the 80s. And then later on in the late 80s, Lord spoke to us about missionaries going from Latin America, from Mexico to different parts of the world. So it's been about 30 years now that we have worked to send missionaries from Mexico to other parts of the world. And it's just really exciting to see what God is doing. When we first went, it was just to find believers and start some church groups. But now, it's just been so wonderful to see that Mexico and really all the Latin American countries are sending missionaries to North Africa and Asia and other parts of the world. So anyway, I don't know how long I talked, but I probably in my 8 minutes or something like that.
Let's give it up again for Mr. Bill Drew. That's awesome. All right, we're going to do some Q&A. So if you have any questions for Bill Drew about Mexico, about him being a missionary, anything of that sort, raise your hand and I'll call on you. Ooh, you got one back here, right behind you.
Yes, I speak Spanish.
Ooh, surprise, surprise.
I speak Spanish. I had to learn Spanish. And I speak Spanish almost as well as I speak English. And it's been a decade or so. When I do my devotion, I just do it all in Spanish Bible. I just get out my English Bible when I go on a trip.
Oh, that looks really good.
That's awesome.
That looks really good now.
How did I learn Spanish? Well, first thing I did, I went to a language school. And I dedicated a school year to nothing but studying Spanish. Debbie and I, we got A's on everything. We moved to Mexico, we couldn't understand anything.
You are amazing.
And then as a year went by, after about a year, we could just almost understand people and talk to people. But, a year was, I can remember being there about a year. I was reading my Spanish Bible. You got the dictionary and everything. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm getting something out of this. It's just like that. Yeah, it was just like that. I went up to the other side, just barely. But as time goes by, you just become more and more comfortable with it.
That's awesome. Let's get one from this side. Ooh, on the end.
So you said there's a lot of Catholics.
Yes.
Did you find it was hard to testify to people that already have a form of religion or have their own form?
Well, in Mexico, almost everybody was Catholic or used to be Catholic. Okay? And what we went to was an area that was very strong traditional Catholic. Even though they weren't really practicing Catholics or whatever, but it was their family tradition. And there was persecution. Okay? And not so much, physical violence or something like that, but people would get saved, and then we knew that the very next thing that was happening to their family, their brothers, their sisters, their parents, they would have to withstand a test. And a lot of people didn't pass it. Okay? But some people did. But with Catholicism, we share a lot of things, the Bible, Jesus, the cross. People understand those kinds of things, though they kind of relate to them very differently than what we do here. So anyway, that's kind of the way
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's give it up one more time for Bill Drew. That was awesome. Thank you so much. All right. We're bringing right back at you with another game. So Angelo Allen, bring it up in here. Come on.
Hello. Okay, to start this game, I got one question for you. If you know what to do when this song comes on, I need you to stand up and do it with me. Hit it, Braden. Hit it, Braden. Woo! Stand up to your feet, guys, because we're playing Family Feud! Oh yeah, I like that. So, how this game works is, if you guys look to your right, there is a prospective country to your right. So going this way around the room. To your right. Is that your right? Wait, is that your right? Yeah, that's right. Awesome. So the country to your right will be the country that you are representing. Throughout the night, we will have different rounds of Family Feud. and you guys will fight as you represent your country. So, first up, we have Mexico and, oh, you're Mexico, sorry. Mexico and France. Awesome, guys. I need four. I need four representatives from each team. You will play throughout the night. Yes, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go. You got it. Awesome. You guys can be seated. You guys can be seated. I need 4 people. 4 people. 1, 2, 3. Anyone else? Anyone else? 4. Awesome. Awesome. Come on out here. Good. Well, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We'll get you guys next round. Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Awesome. Come on out here. Come on out here. Get you guys out here. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, all 4 of you. All 4 of you. I need a single file line. Where you guys at? Awesome. I need France over here, and I need Mexico on this side. Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Get on that side. Are we in the line? Are we in the line? Get a pick your order. Get in your order. Awesome. Awesome. You guys ready? You ready to rock? Hop over there. So, if you are unfamiliar with this game, really quick, you guys got me? You listening?
So this is when they come up, right?
So,
That's when they come
how
up,
this
right?
game works, Eamon.
I played it
How
the
this
other
game
day.
works
It doesn't
is
really.
I will ask
I
you
mean,
guys
we
a
can
question.
try.
Whoever's at the table,
But
it'll start
they're
with your
already
hands on
kinda
the table, one behind your
I've
back.
never heard of
If you
playing
know
on the
an
game
answer,
show.
you'll
But
hit your buzzer. This one's really
that's
quiet.
if they get it right, and that's if they
Hit your
get it right.
buzzer.
Yeah.
First person to get that answer. If it's up on the board, you guys will be able to decide as a team if
How
you want
long
to
do I wait
pass or
till
play. And then our
I play
amazing
that
assistant,
till
Miss
the end?
Beautiful
When he says,
Kitsy
is it on the board?
she'll help you out. And she'll let you know
I'll
what's
help you
going on.
decide.
You guys ready to get started? You guys get what's going to happen? You guys got me? Awesome. Your first question is, if your dog ran away, name something you'd be surprised he took with him. If your dog ran away, awesome. Alex, what you got going on?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Is peanut butter on the board? Peanut butter is not on the board. You have a chance to steal. Sir, what's your name? Joshua. If your dog ran away, name something you would be surprised he took with him.
Prosthetic leg.
A prosthetic leg. Is prosthetic leg on the board? It is not on the board. Awesome. Next person in line. Sarah. If your dog ran away, name something you would be surprised he took with him.
No, not for that.
Your cat. Is cat on the board? Ding, ding, ding. Cat is on the board. It is number 1. Awesome. What you're back up. Yeah, you're back up. Don't leave it. Yeah, you'll stay up here 2 hours. Would your team like to pass or play? Play. You want to play? Awesome. Next person in line. Sir, what's your name? Makai. If your dog ran away, name something you would be surprised he took with him. A dog toy. Is dog toy on the board? It is on the board. Give it up for Makai, guys. You guys got to cheer your countries on. What's going on? You got to cheer your countries on. Yes, it's number 4. Austin Braxton. If your dog ran away, name something you'd be surprised to take with him. A bone.
It's already on the board.
It's already on the board. Okay,
It's an act.
okay.
It's
Braxton, one more. If your dog ran away. Okay, yeah. His bed? His bed. Is his bed on the board?
Strike.
It is not. How many strikes is that? 2? 2. 1.
I think it's only
One strike. One strike. Awesome, Alex. Same question. A sock.
Yes.
Is a sock on the board? Again, sock is on the board. Give it up for Alex, guys. Okay, back to up front. How's it going? Good. If your dog ran away, something you'd be surprised he took with him.
My parents.
Your parents. It is not on the board. Awesome, Makai. What
2
you got,
strikes.
buddy?
2 strikes. They
2
got to
strikes.
steal.
2
You ready to
strikes.
steal?
You guys will be able to steal. You can discuss what you think is on there. You just get it, then you get all those points. Awesome. Okay. Makai, are you ready? What is on there? What's on there?
Got this.
A shoe?
A shoe. Clothes and shoes already on there.
Hit it.
I'm so sorry. That's your 3rd strike. Okay. You got 1 chance to steal. You got 5 seconds.
You get all the points
4.
on the board.
You get all the points on the board. You get all of them. They're yours. If your dog ran away, name something he took with him? A wallet. A wallet is not on there. Awesome. Team France. You guys are France. You guys get the points. Let's what was number 2, Miss Kinsey? A leash. His leash or a collar. Awesome. Number 3. Food. His bowl. Awesome, guys. Give it up. Let's go. Get that clapping going. We got one more round. I need the second person to go on. Up to the front. Who was the second? That's so good. That's so good. That's so good.
Third now.
Awesome.
It's the third person.
Third person.
Since you went through the second person.
Sorry. It's because remember they both got it wrong. So it's the third person. We're gonna go with the third person. Do whatever. Just do whatever. You can say it. You can say it. You can say it. Okay. Awesome. You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Your second question. If you know an answer, hit that buzzer. What's something you keep in your car just in case? Bryce.
Wipes.
Wipes. Wipes or wipes on the board. Wipes. Wipes are not on the board.
Oh, you can't talk. You can't
Don't
talk.
Don't talk. Don't
Alex,
talk. Don't talk.
you can't talk. That's
Don't
cheating.
table talk. Braxton, what do you keep in your car?
Bandage.
Band-Aids. Band-Aids. Are Band-Aids on the board? Band-Aids are on the board. Yes. Band-Aids are on there. Do you guys want to pass or play? Play it. They're playing. Awesome, Makai. Back to you, man. Okay, something you keep in your car, just in case. Just something.
Ready?
Something.
Go for it. Yeah, excellent.
A wallet.
A wallet.
Wait, sorry. He got it in time.
He got
Barely
it
in time.
A wallet is wallet on the board.
Go for it. Go
Ding,
for it.
ding,
Go for
ding,
it.
wallet. Money is on the board. Okay, back to Alex.
Yeah, it was
Sir.
money.
What's something you keep in your car? A mask. This was pulled by 100 people in probably a random parking lot in America. And I don't know if it was pre or post COVID. That is not on the board. Awesome. Sarah.
Jumper cable.
Jumper cables. Is it on there? Jumper cables is. That's good. Give it up. Yes. Okay. Okay. Back up front. Something to keep in your car. Napkins. Napkins. Napkins is not 2 strikes. That's 2 strikes. Awesome. Okay. Sir, this is it. This is it. This is all you. Something you keep in your car just in case.
Give him a strike.
Chance to steal. Here it is. Here it is. Did I mention that the points in this round are doubled? If you guys get this, you take the game. Bryce, something to keep in your car just in case. Food is food on the board. It is! Yes!
Steal it!
Mexico! Mexico! Move on to the next round. Thank you guys so much for playing. You can have a seat. You can have a seat. Now, guys, our next country is gonna be. Oh, really quick. I want to teach you guys how to say something. You guys can sit down. You sit down. You sit down. You sit down. You sit down.
Thank you.
You're good.
We just had Mexico up here. That was awesome. How do you guys say thank you in Spanish? I'm not sure. Gracias. So what do we say to Mr. Bill Rube? Thank you so much. Our next country is going to be Dubai. Go ahead and hand over to your Dubai area. We got some mango. Correct me. How do I say it? Lassi. And we have some nana bread. Go ahead and get in there. We got a couple minutes. Go quick. Go quick. Nani. Nana? Naan. Naan is naan. Naan bread. Nana. We're going to Dubai. We're going to Dubai. Where's Amen? Amen. Amen. Where's my water?
It's on.
Kran. Shukran.
That's how you say thank you in Arabic. All right, everybody, once you grab your drink and your naan, go take a seat. Take a seat. I want some naan. Well, get your drink. Mango lassi. Yeah. What's up? Who's on it?
If you're allergic to anything, we do not take expression.
If you're allergic, don't eat it. Please.
We're not liable.
Yes, we are.
This was from a restaurant. You know, did you know if you happen to go to this restaurant where we got this naan, it's from Korma Sutra, and if you get confused with what the person's telling you, you might end up paying all in cash because that's what Sarah Peck thought when she was there. Sarah, I love you. Your brother got engaged. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody, we are about to get into another missionary couple speak to us. Now, this missionary couple, they become friends of mine. Are we friends? Okay, me and Ethan are friends. And they are going to this place called Dubai, and they're pretty cool. I'm going to tell you this right now. Amy has an accent. I'm not going to tell you what kind of accent. You'll be able to tell when she starts speaking. But without further ado, everybody please give me the loudest shout and clap for our missionaries to Dubai, Amy and Ethan. Come on!
Okay, someone in this room had a shirt that says London, England. Where is it? Yeah! I'm from London.
Yeah, I'm Ethan. I'm not from anywhere fancy. I'm from Kentucky. And luckily, I don't have a Kentucky accent, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so me and Amy actually met in Australia. We've been in missions for the last 5 years. And we just thought we would, we've been, learning how to say things. I thought I would teach you how to say something in Australian, okay? So I want you all to repeat after me, okay? So say good, I might. So now say it fast. And it sounds like an Australian saying, good day, mate. Good night, mate. Good night, mate.
We should teach them how to say no and how to say yes.
Oh yeah, in Australia you would say, if you were to say no, you would say yeah, nah. But if you were to say yes, you would say nah, yeah.
You do that in Missouri?
There you go. But anyway, so me and Amy have been missionaries in Australia, and we've led teams of people about your age to all different countries, and done a bunch of different things on outreaches. But recently, me and Amy have felt like God speaking to us and sharing with us about moving to Dubai. Now, we wanted to do a quick little poll here. Who here thinks Dubai is a city? Okay. Who here thinks it's a country? Awesome. So Dubai is a city in the nation of the United Arab Emirates, which is in the Middle East. And if you don't know too much about it, you might have seen pictures of the skyline because it has a very tall building, the tallest building in the world, called the Burj Khalifa. But it's also it's a Muslim nation, and so the majority of the people who live there are Muslim, and it's not really legal to share the gospel there. So we're going to be making friends with Muslims there, and telling them about what it looks like to follow Jesus, as well as we're going to be helping out people who maybe are having trouble. Like what happens a lot of the time is people come to the United Arab Emirates for work, but people will steal their passports, so they have to continue working for them for free. So it's really like they're being enslaved to their boss, like literally. So we're going to be helping people to get their passports back so that they can actually go home and be with their families again. But yeah, we just when we were praying and asking God what to share with you guys tonight, we just wanted to encourage you guys that you guys are capable and you guys have, like, God's going to be able to use you guys to do missions work as well. So whenever I was like in high school, I got to go on a missions trip to Nicaragua, kind of similar to like what Cross Points is going to be doing in Mexico this December. And I remember, like, as I was there, like, God was really teaching me about what it looked like to talk to other people about Him. And there's times when I was really nervous, and I was like, oh no, like, I don't really speak the language, this is a little awkward, can I do this? But God was really faithful to me and helping me to come over those barriers and really taught me a lot through it. And it wasn't just like helping me reach other people, but it also, I started having deeper relationship with God as well. And Amy had a similar experience growing up as well.
Yeah, when I think I was 12, I'm not really sure, I think I was about 12, our church was doing a trip to India, and I came out of like my youth group or whatever, and my mum was like, oh, just so you know, we're going to go to India. And I'm like, oh, really? Why? She's like, we're going to do this mission thing. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. We'll do that. And she goes, and you're going to pay for all of it. I'm like, how? I don't have a job. So I don't know, I mean, this is kind of lame, but I used to have a pink Nintendo DS. Does anyone know what that is?
Yes.
Thank you millennials in the room. But I had to sell that, and then I raised money, and I literally walked my friends' dogs in the village, and like different random stuff. My family never had money, and a couple of people in the church were like, I want you to go to India, I want to give towards you. And so I ended up going, and that's where God spoke to me about missions and being a missionary. I still didn't really know what that meant, but He said to me, you will go somewhere every 2 years for the next 10 years. And that's exactly what I did. I went to India in 2008, I went there again in 2010, 2012 I went to Zambia, 2014, where did I go? Sweden and Germany, 2016, yeah, that was fun. 2016 was Germany and France, I think.
Wow.
And so God was true to what He said. And so I think just like going off the back of what Ethan said, like if there's any of you that are like interested, like don't really know what missions is, but I kind of want to have a go at it, I really encourage you to do a trip with the church, because it's a really good way to like, figure that out and just to see what God might speak to you through that. So I had a similar experience to Ethan.
Yeah, and some of you might be like, oh, I can't go on the trip this year or something like that. But I would encourage you guys, like, okay, if you feel like God's stirring in your heart, don't wait to go on a trip to tell somebody about Jesus. Like, you can do that in your school, you can do that with your friends, and it can be nerve-wracking. I remember being in high school and like talking to my friends who weren't believers about Jesus and being like nervous, like, what are they going to think of me? Like, what are they going to say? Like, will they make fun of me? But like in those times, whenever I stepped out and I was like, okay, God, I'm going to take this opportunity, God always helped me in those moments. And it was really cool to see the little impacts that would make on them whenever I would be bold and I would be like, okay, I'm going to have those sort of conversations. So I'd really encourage you guys, like, yeah, we're no different than you guys. You guys have opportunities. You guys can reach out and share things with your friends as well. But yeah, did you have any questions?
Yeah, let's give it up for them real quick. Come on.
Oh, definitely.
Let's get some questions, Q&A for them real quick about Dubai. What do you got over here? Let's get something. Is it, you got a question, or are you like, okay, what's your question?
Is India depressing, did you say? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that it's depressing. There's a lot of amazing things about India. They have amazing food, there's lots of really cool buildings, people wear really nice dresses and stuff. It's sad, there's a lot of poverty. So maybe that's where your friend was saying it's depressing. Like there's a lot of poor people. But you get the opportunity to tell them about Jesus, and then that's not depressing.
Good answer. Good answer. Sarah.
That's a hard one. I got to go to Nepal once and lead a team to Nepal, and we were up in a small village. And sorry.
It's above India, like
Yeah, and we got to go up into a small village where there was very few like outsiders that had ever been in there, and we got to go to each house and share with each house, and it was just amazing seeing how God brought us to such a remote, random place, but was able to use us to impact this little village.
Nice. Oh, there's one over here. Oh, yes.
Have you ever seen the word non-miracle? I've seen loads.
Yeah, I've seen God heal a lot of people. Actually, when we were leaving Australia, we needed to get Amy a visa to the United States, and we talked to 3 lawyers, and all of them told us that it would be impossible. But we felt like God said to do it anyway, so we sold everything we had based on what God was telling us, and we just kept trusting God would provide a way. And the day before we had to leave Australia, God provided Amy a visa, and that was literally a miracle.
Good question. Let's get one. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. We'll go over here next one. Go.
For like a vacation or mission? Missions? Okay. Vacation, Switzerland's beautiful. Mission, I think Jordan. That's also in the Middle East. That's a very cool country. I love that. I love traveling everywhere.
For me, it might be Nepal. Yeah, probably Nepal. Yeah,
I love
Nepal's
Nepal.
cool.
I love Nepal. That's great.
All right, let's give it up for
Hey,
them.
really quick.
Wait. Nick apparently has to say something.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting
Through the wind. Wanting to start again.
Yes, always.
All right, give it up one more time for Ethan and Andrew. Come on, that was really good. And give it up some more for Angelo Allen. Woo!
I lost my buttons over there. I'll put them down. Awesome. So, last round, we had some winners. Yes, give it, there it is. Let's get it going. Awesome. Next up, I need Dubai and Thailand. I need your fighting back. Let the city of land place. The place. I need 5 people. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. 4. Let me get up. Thailand over here. Dubai over there. Thailand, Dubai. Give me your first person up to the front. Awesome sauce. Awesome. So,
Try that one, see what it does.
okay.
Yeah, try it.
Boys, this one's just for you. Top 1, 2, 3. Top 6 answers are on the board. If there was a store that only sold boyfriends, most people would try to buy one with what characteristic?
Oh, that was close.
That was close, Mr. Jones.
Rich.
Rich. Rich is rich on the board.
Bank account. Is that on it? Yeah. Yes.
Rich is on the board at number 5. You got one chance. Can you get one higher? Let's go. Beautiful. He wants a beautiful man. A beautiful man. It's on there, but it is 6. Would you guys like to pass or play? You're gonna play? They're gonna play. Awesome. Second person in line. What is your name? Adelaide. If you had a store that only sold boyfriends, what characteristic would you look for? Kindness. Kindness, that's good. She wants kindness is on the board. Number 2. Awesome, Lily. What's your name? Lily, if you went to a store that only sold boys, what would you buy? What characteristic would you look for in a boyfriend?
What?
Loyalty is loyalty on the board. It's on the board.
Character? Sure.
It's characteristic. Yes, character. Character's good. Awesome, man. What is your name? Livy. So the whistle boyfriends.
You guys shout something, anything.
Smart. That's good. Good answer. Good. It is not. That's one strike. Okay, back to the front. Hello. Short. Sold only boyfriends. What characteristic are you looking for? Charming. Okay, this is 2 strikes. You guys can discuss because you'll be able to steal there. You'll be able to steal. Okay. This is it. The pressure is on. They can't help you. It's just you. Sword. Only boyfriends.
Like,
What
if you're
characteristics?
buying something from a store, you want to
Style. Fashionable.
Nope.
Oh, it is not on there. Okay, your chance to steal. Okay,
Man,
you got 5
The
seconds.
volume of these ones are
4.
so
Funny.
Nope.
It's not on the board. It's personality characteristic. Let's see what number 1 is. A job. We gotta have that job to make that money. Number 3, warranty. Take him back and exchange that money. Awesome. But team number 1 has 15, 25, 26. Yeah, you guys have like 40 points. Okay, 40 points. Awesome. Second person in line to the table. Awesome. How you doing? Awesome. This question's for you guys. Do you guys go to school? You're homeschooled? Okay.
46 points.
46 points.
That's what they
46
got.
points for this team. Let me remind you, points in round 2 are doubled. Yes, they are. If someone in class sitting next to you had bad BO, bad odor, what would you do? Adelaide.
I would yell at them.
She would yell at them. It's yelling at them on the board. It is not. That is rude. We are supposed to be the laugh of the world in our classrooms. Okay, friends. They had bad BO. What would you do?
I would shun them.
Shun them. Shun them.
Go for it. Okay.
It is on there. She would shun them. Turn their head. She would turn her head away from them. Awesome. Number 2. Okay, don't forget points this round are going to be doubled. What is it? They smell bad. What you going to do?
Say nothing.
Say nothing. That's kind of a. Oh.
It's kind of the same as turn head.
Turn head.
Yeah, that's where we would have went.
I think it's.
Oh
on
wait.
there.
Oh sorry.
I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
on
Sorry.
there. It's on there.
Ding!
Endure it. Do nothing.
Ding,
Yeah.
yeah. Our bad. Our bad.
What's it called?
It was all
Okay.
Braden.
Someone in class is back to you. What are you doing?
She said what I was going to say, but the next thing I would say is ask God to help me.
Ask God to help her focus on something else. That's not on there. It's okay. It's okay. Matt. What's gonna happen? They smell bad. What you doing?
I'm moving.
He's moving.
Yep.
He's moving. Good answer. I can't clap. That's good. It is on there. Back to
Hey,
the
this is so
front.
quiet.
Back to the front.
When I raise it, you hear
Okay,
buzzing,
friend,
so I have to
friend,
like.
what you doing? They smell bad. You're homeschooled. It's your brother, your sister, your mom. What are you doing?
I hit them.
You hit them.
Nope.
We're getting violent. Hit them is not on the board. We got 1 strike. Okay. Okay, you're homeschooled too. You're Brett. Whoever. Your family, you have like 3 brothers, right? They probably smell bad a lot. Okay. Okay. You ready? What are you gonna do?
Politely give them deodorant.
Politely give them deodorant. That's kind. It is on there. Politely give them deodorant. Spray perfume. Good. That's awesome. Okay, we got 1 strike on the board. We got 1 more answer. One
For
more
the
answer.
win. For the
For
win.
the win. This is it. You will take this home. What do you do?
Jesus, take the wheel.
2 strikes. Come on.
Go for it. Oh.
Cover her mouth.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry. She got it in time. Yep.
Cover her mouth. Cover have some dumplings and some boba tea. Awesome, you go ahead and get that dumpling and those boba.
All right, go get that dumpling. that
Hey,
boba.
they get two dumplings.
Everybody gets 2 dumplings.
2 dumplings.
We have chopsticks,
Chopsticks.
2 dumplings, boba tea.
Boba. Get some food. Yeah. Adelaide, here's boba. Adelaide's got the boba. Everything is right in the world.
Huh? Is there another piece?
Ethan
Right.
Landers is going to be upset with me. I got this mic greasy again.
Just a reminder, 2 dumplings per person.
Music, Thailand music.
Evan,
Is there anything
Those
better? It's
two
just like
videos.
here, turn it up a little bit.
I don't know.
It's like it's just like a sin.
I'm not searching for anything else.
Homemade boba.
Everything else is parachute. And then India.
This is the only Thai music you could find.
Because it's 5 minutes long.
I know that's what I was asking. What is this music?
Hey, Frank, you're doing a good job.
You're doing a great job.
You're doing a
actually.
great job back there, Frank.
Dude, like, what's that? Wait, what's the next country?
French. Our friends.
all right, once you get your boba and your dumplings, go take
I already
a
played
seat.
those 2.
You
Do
brave
nature-
souls might have the
Oh, these French?
chopsticks.
It's like we should do something where they sing in French, like French.
You're gonna totally know this French music.
Say, brave soul.
So everybody sit back here for a second. Will they get mad at me if I sit back here for a second?
Are you excited about the dumplings? I am. I'll tell
Did
you
you
that.
have one of these things? Oh, do you want me to grab you one?
Is there another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so good. Let me go get you one. They're so good.
Alright.
Remember that super long time ago? That was so bad. I hated that.
Yo, Angelo. 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 Have a mango? Have a mango drink?
food. Take a seat. Take a seat. How are you feeling right now? Feeling pretty great. That's pretty good, pretty good. How you feeling? Can you use the chopsticks?
Who beat me to it?
Angela, I just waved at him and I was like, can I have a drink? Can we get me one? Oh, well, I'm gonna drink this one then.
Ooh,
Do you like it?
Jack, you are creeping up the boba real quick.
Really
What
good.
are your thoughts?
I'm about to go get a dumpling.
That's good.
About to go get a what?
That's good, that's good.
You want me to grab you one? Because I haven't got one either.
And, how do
Okay,
you like
you
your
can if you'd like.
steamed or fried? What do you prefer?
I don't know the
Okay,
difference.
well, these are fried.
Probably
These are fried.
steamed. Oh, no, fried.
Okay, good, yeah. All right, we getting some. Okay. All right, guys, finish up grabbing your stuff. We're gonna get started with our next missionary. All right, listen up. We're about to get started with our next missionary. Now, this missionary was a missionary to Cambodia, but since we are going to Thailand, we are having her speak all about Thailand. Thailand is right next to Cambodia. It's on the northern side? Southern? The east? Just to the east of it. I was close. So close. I guessed 1 out of 4, 25% chance. And it's right next to it, bordering country, and it's going to be amazing. So everybody, please give it up for Miss Joni Wise. Come on!
Well, it's great to be with you, and like they said, that I worked in Vietnam and Cambodia. I worked in both countries. But because some of you are going to Thailand, I'm going to talk to you about Thailand, and I think some of you are going yourself, right? Woo! Some of you are going to Thailand.
After your talk, everybody.
Everyone,
That's right.
I'm going.
They can all go if they want. Whoa, okay. So,
Don't know how to use chopsticks.
yes, so I'm going to talk to you about Thailand, and I might not do that. But the first thing I want to do is teach you how to say hello in Thai. So if you come into the airport, the international airport, it has it written right as you come through immigration. You're going to go down some escalators, it's written right on the top. And I have to use my hands to do this. So I want you to put your hands.
Did you get yours on?
You have to bow your head slightly. So anywhere you are, if you want to greet someone, you can do that. You have to bow a little bit. And if the person is older than you, you have to bow your head. If they're younger than you, you can bow your head. So it has a lot of Okay, so what I want to do is help you understand a little bit about the culture of Thailand, especially if you're going to go there and see it. I've been there many times, but like I said, I never lived there, but it is a Buddhist country. Could you maybe stick the picture up? Yeah. So it's a Buddhist country, and almost everyone in Thailand is Buddhist. So you're going to see Buddhist monks out on the streets. You're going to see Buddhist temples, or they call them wats, and have tall, pointy spires, and they'll be all over Bangkok, actually everywhere. And one of the most famous temples in Thailand is up in Chiang Mai, which I hear you're going to be going up to Chiang Mai, which is up in the north. So this is actually a Buddha in the temple, and he's a reclining Buddha. That means he's lying down. So you're going to see all kinds of Buddhas, standing up, sitting Buddhas, lying down Buddhas. The Buddha was a real person, and he lived and died, not in Thailand, he was actually in Nepal. And then he developed Buddhism, which is a kind of complicated thing. Let me go to the next slide, please.
Which one?
So what people do is they meditate. So, but Buddhism is really to teach you to go inside of yourself and find truth inside of yourself. Now, if you compare that to Christianity, how does that sound to you? What do you think?
Evil.
What do you guys think? Okay, can you find the answers in yourself? No. But that's what Buddhism teaches, that you go inside yourself, log long enough and deep enough, and somehow truth will appear to you, because this is sort of what happened to Buddha. And so this will help you to become a good person. So, but in fact, we know that without Jesus, we can never really become who we were meant to be.
Amen.
But almost all Thai people believe this, and they follow this kind of teaching. And so Buddhism is really like the culture. So culture and Buddhism are mixed together. So if you're Thai, you're Buddhist. So Thailand does not have very many Christians. And so there's some evangelism and things going on there, but there are very few Christians still because they're very, very strongly Buddhist. What's it?
It's the
monks. Okay, yes. So wherever you go, everywhere in Thailand, you're going to see monks look just like this. They'll walk, and they have to go barefooted, and so they'll walk through the street, even if it's really hot there, and there's concrete, and they have to go barefooted. I don't know if it burns their feet or what, but then they carry a bowl, and they'll go from house to house, and you see this lady, she's bowing her head, so she puts food in this bowl. Maybe sometimes they put money, and we used to see this in Vietnam too. They would go to the houses and even knock on your door. And we didn't actually give them anything, but so what he will do is when you give him food, then he puts a blessing on you. So he may be in the temple, but unfortunately the temples are filled with not just Buddhist belief, but also occultism. So there's all kinds of evil things going on there. There's casting spells, divination, like tarot cards, they have fortune cards, all kinds of things. They throw sticks to, you pick the right stick, and then that's like the magic number, and it tells you your fortune, and all kinds of things like this are in the temple. So when the monk, he's been doing all those things, then he comes out in the street, he wants to bless you. Well, you might get a blessing that's not too good, so I wouldn't recommend that if you're walking around in the street. So, but anyway, so these monks are everywhere, all over in Thailand, and you will see them dressed in their orange robes. So the other thing about Thailand is that, or Buddhism, is that they have something called karma. Has anybody heard of karma? Yes. They probably talk about it here quite a bit. Does anybody know what karma is? Yeah. Yes. It's getting repaid back. Yes, that's right. So the thing is, they believe it's like you reap what you sow. The problem is, with karma, there might be somebody who lived, like hundreds of years before you, and they did bad things, and you're going to get their karma. So that means whatever they did, you will be reincarnated. That person is being reincarnated, but when you're born, you don't remember that you were that person, and then you will have all the bad stuff, all the bad consequences in your life from what they did. So, and even Buddha even talked about this. He said it's impossible for our sins to be forgiven. It takes 1,000 karmas. The sin is so heavy, we can never get rid of it. Buddha knew what sin was, but he had no idea how to get rid of the sin. You just had to keep being reincarnated over and over. So that's depressing. You want to go to the next slide? But there is, now, we have to take this a little bit with a grain of salt, but when you meet Thai Christians, and hopefully you will meet Thai Christians, they say that Buddha had made a prophecy before he died. And in this prophecy, he has said that someone would come. It's kind of hard to read that. Okay, it talks about how someone would come after him who would be a future Messiah. You can kind of look up there. And that he would be able to free people from their sins. They say that Buddha talked about this before he died. And so supposedly some secret writing, special writing is hidden in a temple up in Chiang Mai. And nobody's ever seen it because it's being guarded. So this idea has gone to a lot of different Thai people and Thai Christians who try to use this to help people understand that even Buddha knew that he didn't have everything, and someone would come after him and that would be Jesus. So he spoke maybe a prophetic word about that. So when you are there, and if you meet with Thai Christians, ask them about that, because that may be a powerful way to help people know who Jesus is into Thai culture. And is there one more slide? Okay. Okay, so this is the thing, this is like your homework, okay? especially whether you're going to Thailand or you're not going to Thailand, you can use this anywhere. Has anybody heard of the Discovery Bible Study app? Ooh, anybody heard of that? Okay, it's on your phone. I mean, you can get it on your phone. So I'd like you guys to take out your phone and go into your app store. It's free. Download Discovery Bible Study. And this is like you can carry it around. It's in your phone. And they're using this around the world. It's becoming the most amazing way to help people know about Jesus. And everybody can do it. You don't have to be trained. You don't have to go to Bible college. You don't have to do anything. But you can use Discovery Bible Study to help people know, to learn about Jesus. So if you go to Thailand and you've got that in your phone, there's 10 Bible studies in there, but they're not really Bible studies. They're just like sections of Scripture. And if you talk to someone, like say, for example, you're talking to a Thai person who speaks English, you can say, would you like to do this Discovery Bible Study with me? And because they really love to speak English, they will say, okay. And so then you sit down and you go through and you just read it. And then there's some questions, and you ask the questions. And then you say to them, how could you apply that in your life? And so there's people that start doing this, and they have led people to Jesus. Even Muslim people have come to the Lord by somebody just sitting down and doing a Discovery Bible Study with them.
Wow.
So this is a tool that anybody can use, and it would be a great tool to use in Thailand or anywhere in the world. So if you can, carry it around on your phone. Am I running out of time? Okay. So one last thing I just want to say, because I've been learning about the situation of all of you guys in high school and how tough things are. And Discovery Bible Study would be a great thing to use with your friends. And you'd be surprised. People are not like, oh, I don't have that stuff. Because a lot of people are really inside, they're really hungry spiritually, they're really seeking. So if you like you're at lunch or something, you ask your friend, would you like to do this with me? A lot of them will say yes. It's a great way for them to come to know Jesus.
Yeah, that's really good. Let's give it up for Joni. We got a couple quick questions. Anybody got a quick question for Joni? Oh, you've already asked the question, Peter. I'm sorry. Anybody got a quick question? Have you asked a question yet? No. Okay, go.
What was the favorite place that you've gone on a mission trip?
My favorite place is Vietnam.
Ooh.
And I didn't get to talk about it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Friday.
You're making me feel bad. Somebody, I'm sorry.
Because I lived in Vietnam for 10 years. So, and it is an amazing, truly amazing place.
That's so good. Okay. Let's get one more.
You know, people try to teach them about Jesus and that. Anyone get angry or try to kind of
Not much. But there are a few cases where really weird things have happened. Like when I was in Vietnam, my friends were in a little house, and the house was probably 10 feet long. They invited the kids in for this kind of like holiday called the Moon Festival. They were giving them candy, and the monks in the temple across the street knew those people were Christians. They called the police. They all got arrested. But it was that was a long time ago. So because they were jealous, so a lot of weird stuff happened. And it's kind of demonic, actually. It's demonic, but it was okay.
Oh, well, you're here. You're good.
Nothing happened, and they all let us on the home.
That's awesome. All right, let's give it up one more time for Joni Wise. That was awesome. All right, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going straight into our desserts. So, you can grab your French desserts and your French drink, and you can grab it and take a seat. Everybody gets one cup and one drink. Grab it, take a seat, and we'll head into our final missionaries.
Cooper. Oh yes, that's such a perfect song. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's literally perfect.
You know every word to this.
Be our guest. Be our guest.
You do?
Be our
Blessed is the it's good thing that the bride
Gives like what the crafts.
All right, let's grab our drink and our dessert, get to our seats. Grab our drink and our dessert, get to our seats right quick.
It's a banger.
Yo, dude. moving, keep it moving. Yes, we are guests, our service to the church. Tie up now, give right direction, and we provide the rest.
Super sure, not for It's delicious, don't forget when it's delicious.
Let's keep moving, let's keep moving.
Be careful. Oh, after all, miss, this is France. It's never second best.
Let's grab those last ones and take a seat.
What did we say?
What you do? Amen. Amen.
You want your own
All right, once you grab it, take a seat. Once you grab your dessert, take a seat, take a seat. All right, let's get started. Brayden, while we pause that music in the back. All right, we have our final missionaries up to talk tonight. They are missionaries to France, out of France, living in France. You guys were in France last week, correct? All right, and they're going to speak to us about missions in France, so we can give it up one more time for Joe and Judy Portali. Come on!
We're going to be in this area so we can actually look at all of you. Is that okay? Except the people behind us. So we get to see more people than we're standing.
We can't see Nick, but we can see everyone else.
Nick's busy eating.
Well, in France, you have to learn to greet people.
Yes.
So, bonsoir, madame. Je m'appelle Joe Portal.
Oh, bonjour.
I was going to start speaking French. But at least you need to know that you are not supposed to actually kiss them on the cheek. There's no lip contact on your cheek. Touch cheek. And also, I will tell you a story which may amuse you. I've only told it a couple of times in my entire life. When we lived in France, we had a very special friend who was a pastor, and he was coming to visit us in Switzerland. We were living in Switzerland. And he came in, and I just went, da-da, da-da. But somehow, in the middle, we both landed on our lips. One of those embarrassing moments that I don't talk about very often. And I've never done that. It's the only time it ever happened to me, but I was very embarrassed. So.
Was it a French kiss?
No.
Oh, that was
No.
good.
A French kiss.
Definitely not.
It's a French kiss.
I guess it wasn't French.
France is
Disgusting.
for us, a very interesting country, and a country that we love. We enjoy the people. The people are a lot of fun. French are fun-loving. They enjoy life. They say joie de vivre, joy of life. That's the French mentality. Very different from the Swiss French. The French have a whole different mentality. It's fun seeing the difference. Now, in France, it's supposedly a Christian country, and they claim about 51% of the country is Christian. In actual fact, it's way below that. They say probably 40% are atheist, and then there's a mixture of other things in there. As we've heard from various places, like in Mexico and other places, occult is something that's strong there. Because so many are atheists, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in anything that's beyond what you can touch, then there's a void in their heart, they're looking for something, and so they often dabble in the occult. though they claim to be French, the French claim to be Catholic, they say that most of the people will go to church 4 times in their lives. When they are baptized, when they are christened, when they are married, and when they are buried. And then apart from that, they do not attend church. One of the things that we've done in praying for France and wanting to get a hold of a sense of God's heart for France, we asked God to give us an understanding of how He saw it. This is when we first went there, when we first began in missions, a long time ago, 1969, 1970.
Wow.
So probably before your parents were born, but God was there. And when we asked Him to give us a sense of His heart, He spoke to us Ezekiel 37, which is the valley of dry bones. And so, in that, God takes Ezekiel into this valley, and there's dry bones everywhere. God says to Ezekiel, "Can these bones live?" And Ezekiel kind of looks and shrugs his shoulder and says, "God, you know." And so God says to Ezekiel, "Prophesy to these bones." And when he did, there was a noise, a rattling, the bones came together, flesh from the bones, but they're still dead. And so then God said a second time, "Prophesy." And when he did, the breath of God breathed upon them, life came into them, and they were raised up a vast army.
Wow.
So we sense that God had much in his heart for France, a love for France that he's given to us, and I believe something that he's wanting to do in bringing revival in France, that life will come into the dry bones, and also that it says that they were raised up a vast army. That's what we've also been believing for, and seeing the Lord raise up many French young people to be involved in missions.
Amen.
So it's been an interesting time of seeing God's interaction in France and his love for France. Now, maybe I should mention culturally, food is very important.
Food is very important.
Very, very important.
Very, very important. One of the missionaries that's from this church, Evan Smith, is working in Montpellier in France, and he is working in the culinary industry, trying to get some things developed in business as mission in the way of food industry, and also in sharing with people about training them to become cooks. And I have to say, he was in the base in Saint-Hippolyte-du-Fort for probably, 4 years, and the food was fantastic. I have my places that I say, this is great, these places have great food. It has to do with how people prepare food. And Paris is another place, the YWAM base there, that has fantastic food, because they love the idea of preparing things for people that would bless them and encourage them. So that is what the French, for them, food is that. Food is sitting around a table for hours.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
We were invited to a pastor's house right after church, and we went there, and we started with one course, and then we had another course. By the time we were done, it was 7 o'clock in the evening. We started at 1 o'clock. All that time was sitting around the table with something in front of us, and also socializing and talking with people.
So you don't get up, you don't pull out your cell phone. Yeah. Don't ever pull out your cell phone at a mealtime, because you're there to interact with the people. And it's a combination of enjoying food and enjoying fellowship. The joie de vivre. You can, I think of French people that I know, they may live in an old farmhouse, have an outdoor toilet, but if they got a loaf of bread, some good cheese, a bottle of wine, but we skip that, they are happy. There are over 400 kinds of cheese in France. So
I love cheese. I need it all. Go cheese!
That's cap.
Cow cheese, all kinds of cheese. You're not going to find macaroni and cheese.
All right, we got 2 questions for them. One question from over here. We got one question. Anything? Sarah? What made you want to be a missionary? Shorter version.
I had an divine encounter with Jesus when I was 9 years old, and he called me to be a missionary. And put in my heart French language and the French world. And so I prepared from that point on for that, studying French and getting ready for Bible college. And when I was considering marrying her, I had to resolve the question when she called to missions, because I didn't want somebody who was not called to missions as my wife. And so we worked that out. I asked her if she had a call to missions. She said yes, and I thought, okay, good. So I could propose to her.
But I thought I would be in Latin America. So, it's
Very different.
What can you say?
That's awesome. All right, we get one last final question right here. Go.
What do we do in France? Really, two areas. One, evangelism on the street. So every year, we've been involved in a Paris, je t'aime, Paris, I love you outreach on the streets, doing open airs, sharing testimonies, witnessing, handing out literature.
XSM has been there twice.
Yeah. And we have found Muslim people open. It's been really encouraging. And then the other thing is linking in to Ezekiel 37, seeing life come in, witnessing, and the other thing is raising up young people. So I love to go and teach. So I just was in France the last 2-3 weeks, teaching in discipleship training schools, teaching young people about missions and how to be involved in missions.
All right, give it up one more time for Joe and Judy. That was awesome. All right.
Hey, really quick, before we finish, we gotta find out what country wins.
We gotta find out what country wins.
We gotta find out what country wins. And then we gotta eat all this leftover food. Because I would need you all to eat it. Hey, before that, I just want to say to all our senior highs, raise your hand if you're in senior high. If you're in senior high, listen to me. If you ask every single one of these missionaries, they would all tell you the same thing. Go on a missions trip. It'll change your life. Go on a missions trip. It will change your life. We are going to Thailand this July, and it will change your life. So seriously, I want you to pray about it. Our applications are due at the end of January. They're due at the end of January. We want you to be praying over this Christmas break, and by the end of January, we're turning our applications, and we want you to come. Can you do that? Yeah. Senior guys, raise your hand. Tell me you'll at least think about it, pray about it. You'll put that fleece out and say, God, am I supposed to go? Can you do that? Say, I will, Pastor Nick. I will, Pastor Nick. Okay, let's do a country win.
Come on, two winning teams. Up to the front. Two winning teams. Where you at? Come on. Let's get up here. Two winning teams up to the front. Parents outside. Parents, give us 5 minutes. They'll get your kids out there really quick. Oh, yeah. Put your hands together, everyone. Oh, yeah. I like that. Okay. Top 3 answers on the board. Top 3 answers on the board. Only 3 are on there. Top 3 answers on the board. Ready? Hand on the table. One behind your back. Name something that might be full of holes. Top 3. Oh. Cheese. Cheese. Is cheese on the board? Yep. Cheese is on the board. Cheese is number 1. Okay. There are only 3 answers on there. 3 answers. 2 more. Okay. Let's go.
Has a whole bunch of holes.
Whole bunch of holes.
Whole bunch of holes.
Something that has holes in it. Full of holes.
Full of holes. A sinking ship.
A sinking ship is not on the board. It is not. Okay, something full of holes. Full of holes. A sponge.
Oh, good answer.
A sponge.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Also, that's
Good
2
answer.
strikes. Something full of holes, Bryce. A wiffle ball. 3 strikes. Okay, you guys have a chance to steal. You have a chance to steal. Something full of holes. People. Incorrect. 40 points goes to Team France. Awesome. Awesome. Second person in line. Second person in line. That's good. That's good.
Final
40
round.
points on the board. It's okay though, because guess what? Round 2. The points are
Double!
doubled. Those points are doubled. Your question is,
Candy.
name something. Sorry, I lost it. Name something that is a common candy bar component. Common?
Chocolate.
Chocolate is chocolate on the board. That is number 1. Awesome. You guys want to pass or play? Are you passing or playing? You're playing? You're playing.
Playing, you're
Okay.
playing.
Common candy type.
Component.
Component.
Caramel.
Caramel. Number 3. Awesome. Awesome. Common candy bar component.
The middle part, the wafer,
The
Oh,
nougat.
oh, nougat.
The
Sorry.
nougat.
She got. Oh, only top 3. Okay.
Yeah, it's the top 3.
Yep.
Top 3. Aim for the second one.
Come on.
Peanuts. For Team Dubai! Woo! You guys, everyone on your team, here you go. They're in this pocket. You get Starbucks gift cards. There you
Just
go.
pay our regular
That's
stuff?
for
Yeah.
you. That's for you guys. Thanks so much for coming to XSM tonight.
Eat
We
some
love
food!
you. Take some food. Go home. Your parents are waiting. Don't forget to pray for our missionaries and pray
Ask
about
them
Thailand.
questions if they want to ask
them
them.
questions.
Yeah.
They're hanging out. Dubai is a city. Okay, ask your missionaries questions. They're here to talk. Dubai is a city. Parents.